What's good, Derpy? What's good, Pookie? How am I getting cooked already, bro? We haven't even said a word. Look at this dude, an unchanged man that hasn't experienced Superman, looking very plain today with an ugly hat. Wow, 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 that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't put on a black tee and a black hat. That's crazy. Yo. Well, go see Superman. Pookie, have you seen it already? Have you seen it? Have you seen it already? We're gonna go watch it. It's let me, I got you right now. Let me double check. We have it booked. We have it booked. We are gonna watch it. Then you'll be changed. Wow. You're hyping this shit up. We are watching it tomorrow. We're watching it tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Superman is lit. And then we already have Fantastic Four. We already have Fantastic Four for the 25th. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. We've been going to the movies a lot again lately, so it's fun times. You saw it on Tuesday. You did one of those early. You did one of those early releases, one of those early showings. You did one of the early ones. We tried. I don't know. I don't know if you heard. I'm seeing it tomorrow night as well at the drive-in. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Were you here when I was telling the story of what happened when we tried to watch Jurassic World the first time? Were you here? Were you here? Because we tried to do a midnight release. We tried to do a midnight release, and when we went there, because it was raining over here that day, and apparently all the power went down, and then everything came back except for the auditorium that was playing Jurassic World on Dolby, which is what we got. They were like, oh well, we moved it. We were able to move it to a different auditorium, but your seat isn't guaranteed because the people that got here first got to choose their seats. And my girl and I were like, oh fuck, that's not what we came here to do. It wasn't the reclined seats, the nice reclined seats that we're used to. So we just said fuck it. And do you want to know what they gave us? Do you want to know what they gave us as a consolation prize? They gave us a fucking lanyard, bro. A lanyard. That's all they gave to us. All they gave to us was a fucking lanyard for all that. They couldn't give us no popcorn. They couldn't give us a Coke slush. Nothing. They gave us a fucking lanyard. But yeah, man, the movies have been really fun. I'm excited. We're gonna go watch Superman tomorrow. I hate Superman. I hate his character. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a Batman guy. So I've just never liked Superman. But I'm totally open to it. I'm totally open. Dude, don't go into Superman thinking it's like your average movie. Go in like a kid watching a Saturday morning cartoon. The movie is like long episode of Superman the animated series. Tell that to your buddies. I will. Listen. I still stand by this take, right? I put Captain America in the same boat as Superman. I hate Captain America also, right? However, I genuinely believe the best movie outside of like Endgame, right? Because I think those are cheat codes, right? Where you get to have everyone on screen. My favorite movie in the Marvel series was Winter Soldier, which was a Captain America film. So that I say that to say I'm open to this being a really good movie. I actually have no expectations. For this movie, so I don't know what I've only seen very few trailers. If that, the last couple years I've been trying my best to not watch trailers. Up until recently, I was always a trailer guy. We'd always watch all the trailers and whatnot. So we've tried to not do that. I've tried to not do that. So I'm completely open to it. I'm excited. I am excited though, for real. ASAP. All right. You said, dude, I'm gonna be real. The actor Nicholas Holt, who plays Lex Luthor, he may be the GOAT Lex, better than Gene Hackman and Michael Rosenbaum. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's high praise. That's high praise. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, listen, like I said, I'm excited for it. Maybe I think we be hating on a lot of stuff nowadays instead of appreciating. So I don't know if that's swayed me to just appreciate even some of the lesser movies. I can enjoy even a movie that I don't think is great, but I'll tell y'all what I really think. Um, is it fixed? Is it fixed at all? I'm cutting in and out. My internet cut out. Let me know if it still cuts in and out. If it still cuts in and out. But I'm excited. I'm excited. That was a lot of movie talk. That was a lot of movie talk, which I love. I love that. What the fuck is that behind there? Oh, that's my jacket. Um, but anyway, we are. Yeah, so that's the Saturday. I'm excited for that. But welcome. Like 10 minutes later. But yeah, well, speaking of which, actually, right, this is a great segue. Um, and so welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible, which is really the perfect segue, right? Because kind of like my take on Marvel and Captain America and that Winter Soldier movie, I try to be honest, right? As honest as I could possibly be. I'll just tell you guys how I feel, right? But I try to be honest, as honest as possible. And so, we carry that into sports, and with, when it comes to hype, there is nothing more hype in recent memory. Quite like Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James. So we're gonna be talking about that. Go see it, Pookie, or your Yankees and Knicks are cursed. No, dog, I already told you I have my seat. My mic is still cutting in and out. For real? Let me see. Wait, hold on. Let me mute. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me put on some music and let me try to check this really quickly. All right. Let's see if this is any better. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. All right. But like I said, we're gonna talk about all about Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James. We're gonna talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and their stardom in the WNBA as well too. I think it's a good conversation that we're having. I think it's necessary as well too. We like to flush out definitions and have full on conversations over here. So we will for sure do that. But first, we'll talk about some more free agency. right? For starters, we'll talk about Devin Booker, who signs a 2-year, $145 million max contract extension with the Phoenix Suns through 2029-2030. The highest annual extension salary in NBA history. Um, Booker now has a 5-year and $316 million total on his Suns deal. So they are committed to Devin Booker, in the long term, right? Kevin Durant had his time over there. Chris Paul had his time over there, which Bradley Beal is over there, although his future with the Phoenix Suns is still unknown. But this move further proves the point that I've been trying to make. And that was, I hear you guys on Kevin Durant and how good he is and his ability to lead a team, right? But how about Devin Booker in this scenario? Like, Kevin Durant is 37 versus, I don't want to get Devin Booker's age wrong. He's like 28, 29, like, versus the 28-year-old that's been to the finals. Like, why aren't we looking at him to, you know what I'm saying, to be the head in command, right? And have Kevin Durant be more of a second option. He does what he does, right? But Booker, they moved him into the point guard position. He has the ball in his hands, more the decision maker. And he had a not so great year coming off of a great Olympic run. But, I was always of the mindset, why are we looking at the 37-year-old and not the 28-year-old who's in his prime? Right? So I think this move further kind of validates that, because clearly that's how the Phoenix Suns look at Devin Booker, right? So congratulations on the contract. I think Devin Booker is a really, really good basketball player, right? He's a really, really good basketball player, a super skilled guard that's really grown over the years. But kind of like Anthony Davis, right? You are so good. At what point do you take the leap, if you are going to be a all NBA MVP caliber kind of player to lead your team? Right? I said the same thing about Anthony Davis going into this year next to LeBron James, right? Steph Curry unfortunately didn't have anyone in that role next to him. So Devin Booker has the team to himself right now. They're in a rebuild. Anthony Davis has no Kyrie Irving, a rookie, and Cooper Flagg, who we'll talk about. So I would look for him to try to make that leap and be in the conversation for MVP, all NBA first team, even with Jokic and all of these other guys in the league, right? Devin Booker, the same thing, even with SGA and all these other guys in the league, right? That's the competition that exists. And I think that's the level that they've got to be at, right? Because that's how good they are. That's just our expectation of them. And I think this contract kind of goes in line with that thinking. So congratulations to Devin Booker. Go crazy, man. Like, hey, man, fuck it, go crazy. Like, yeah, just shoot every time. Go crazy. Go try to average 35. Like, go do you. Shit, who gonna tell you no? Who gonna tell you no? I don't know. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's about to tell you no. So, I'm looking for him to take a step forward. To take a step forward with to step forward with this move. So congratulations to Devin Booker. Congratulations to Devin Booker. Now, there was another massive signing because just the other day, or in just the last 2 weeks, I should say, right after the Oklahoma City Thunder won their championship, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, league MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, and Finals MVP, got his contract extension, right? And that was followed up with Chet Holmgren's extension. Excuse me. And now we follow that up with all NBA, all-star, all defensive player Jalen Williams, J-Dub, now also gets a contract extension. Shai got the 285 Supermax. I wanna get this 285. And these are off of both Chet and Jalen Williams. These are rookie extensions, so this is a lot of money that they're getting early. A fully guaranteed 5-year rookie contract that could reach $250 million for Chet Holmgren. And then for Jalen Williams, 5-year max rookie contract extension that could reach $287 million as well too. So 285, 250, 287. Let's get the handy dandy calculator out. 285 plus 287 plus 250. That is, wait, hold on. Let me do that one more time. 287 plus 285 plus 250. Okay, cool. It was right. I just wanted to make sure. So that's between those three players. That is $822 million in guaranteed contracts that were just signed. $822 million between 3 out of your 12 to 15 man roster. So again, this is way above my level of knowledge, but I'm really curious as to what the Oklahoma City Thunder's team will look like moving forward. Because how is everyone else going to get how is everyone else going to get paid on the team? Lou Dort, I'm not sure what their contracts look like, right? Let's see. Alex Caruso is signed through 28-29. Aaron Wiggins is signed through 28-29 from the looks of it. Chet Holmgren just got extended. Shai got extended. I don't know if they'll be able to keep Isaiah Hartenstein past next year. Lou Dort. Um, you know, there's guys here, Cason Wallace. There's guys here that were very big to their roster, that were very big to their team. That because right now we're already in 25-26 season. 26, 27, 27, 28. Things could look very different for this team, and the level of talent that they could have to surround their big three, that could look very different the way we just saw it with the Boston Celtics. So I also think, and this isn't Jalen Williams' fault. This isn't Chet Holmgren's fault, right? It's none of their faults. But, and I get this is just numbers, and maybe it looks different. Maybe it just looks different, right? How is it that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, forget being the best player on the team, he's the MVP of the league. He was the MVP in the Western Conference Finals, the MVP in the finals, has averaged 30 the last 3 seasons on 50% shooting. How is that the same amount as Jalen Williams? What happened to the that there's that there's levels? And like Chet Holmgren, again, it's not his fault. Like 15 and 10 gets you 250. Like it's just and again, it's not like we said, it's not their fault. Like it's not their fault, right? You get this type of money in front of you, like what are you gonna do? Just sign it, like. But I really feel like there should be levels to this for a reason, and there's no way the MVP of the league is just weighed the same as an all-star, all-NBA player. Like, it's just not the same. It's just not the same thing. But congratulations to everybody getting paid. Congratulations to everyone getting paid. We've seen it. Jaylen Brown is in trade talks with a $300 million contract. That those dollars are guaranteed, but where you're gonna play is not. So we'll see what happens. Even I've said, maybe you get off of Jaylen Brown's contract. Like, that's a conversation that we've had over here. So we'll see what happens to the Thunder moving forward, man. We'll something to really, really pay attention to, right? Something to really, really pay attention to. Now, we'll cover this last. We'll cover that last. You saying the large. Where is this other one? Cool. So yesterday, right? Yesterday we had probably the most hyped, the most anticipated summer league game we've ever had. And Cooper Flagg was one half of why that was the case, right? It was his debut. The other half was Bronny James. And whether you like it or not, whatever the reason is, it just is, right? Bronny James gets that type of pull. And to his credit, he has improved a lot from this time last year to now, right? From excuse me, from the beginning of the season to the middle of the season to the end of the season, we were seeing a different Bronny James, right? He's been around not just NBA players, right? But even on the G League, NBA level type of guys. And he's been competing with these guys day in and day out for the last year. So he's a very different player, right? A very, very different player. And he obviously brings a lot of hype. And now we have Cooper Flagg, who's the college player of the year, #1 draft pick. We saw what he did in the Olympic scrimmages against LeBron, Steph, and all of those guys. And so this was extremely hyped. Extremely hyped. And let's start off by watching a couple of the highlights, and then I'll give you guys my take.
Against Cooper Flagg, his first. Here's Bronny around the Baisley screen, step back over Flagg, and that jumper's wet to start the night.
They kind of dared him to take it. He wanted to get one dribble inside the line, ends up with a contested three.
James laces.
This is something that Bronny is going to have to work on. He needs to be able to, when he gets that slow little drag dribble going to the left, or when he's pulling up left, he needs to be able to counter and go right. Right? He has the quickness. He just needs to be able to learn how to do that and comfortable.
The three.
Loves going hard left in front.
And here's Flagg.
And then after a kind of a slow start for Cooper
Very
Flagg,
quick on both of those moves, hard for another big to keep him in front.
And here's Flagg on the break, punching it home. Welcome to the league, Cooper Flagg. He gets the miss. Got enough handle to take it on the break himself. Flagg using the self-checkout line for the bucket.
Yeah, I think the jitters are gone now. I think he had a couple.
Seasick.
There's Cooper Flagg. You see him being disruptive with those long arms. Gets in that lane of the driver, and then we know about the athletic ability. He will have damage on his.
So, let me find the end of the game, because it was a really fun game to watch, truthfully. And the ending was awesome, if we're being honest. Because Andrew Nembhard's brother, Rhyne Nembhard, was having himself a ball game. So let's take a look at this end. Hopefully they don't hit us with that. But
he gets the switch with Swider. Time for a little bag work. Nembhard. Does that look familiar? Tell me that didn't look like a guy that plays for the Pacers. That same combo. I mean, it was everything but the bucket. And he's a little hurt right now. Flagg with the block at the rim. Dallas, Nembhard for the lead. Rhyne Nembhard in full effect. And Big Bro appreciates it. Bronny off the screen, gets the switch. 5 on the clock. Little bag work. Pulls the three. A little bit strong.
And the Lakers ended up losing this game. So, two things, right? I think it was massive that Bronny took that shot at the end, right? It means he's getting comfortable. He's getting more confidence. He did hesitate on the shot, right? So, you know, for Bronny James, if he doesn't hesitate on that shot, I think there's a higher chance it goes in. But him willing to take that shot, understanding the moment in the game, I think shows that he is moving in the right direction, right? So I think, you know, we got to commend him on that. And yes, he missed it, but if he would have made it, it would be a totally different conversation that we'd be having right now, and everybody would be hyped as fuck. But he obviously missed it, but you got to give him kudos for taking that shot still. Before we get into Cooper Flagg and some more Bronny in this matchup, we'll highlight Rhyne Nembhard really quickly, because not Rhyne Nembhard, sorry, Rhyne Nembhard, who had 21 points, 8 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Right? So, and then he hit the big step back midi and the 3. But it was the most he's for sure Andrew Nembhard's brother. He's for sure Andrew Nembhard's brother because he had the most insane Andrew Nembhard moment where he hit that midi, turned the basketball over, and then hit the 3 to put them up. So, it was just a crazy sequence. He's a smaller version of Andrew Nembhard. We're just in that time where it's brothers, siblings, and families in the league right now. So that's just the time. But he's got some skill and talent to him. He can't shoot without fading away. That's definitely something he's gonna have to correct. His brother does the same thing, and we've seen how that style has affected his brother in the league. So he knows who to look to, right? He knows he should know how to fix his game. But he has some skill, he has some talent, but obviously, the big name is Cooper Flagg, right? The big name is Cooper Flagg. And I'm seeing these analysts have conversation where some of them are talking about the stats. Like, oh, look at him. He was doing everything on the floor. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block, the massive block at the end of the game. The shooting. He didn't shoot the ball very well. They're talking about his skill, how it translates. All that stuff is great, right? All that stuff is cool. This debut for Cooper Flagg, his first game in Summer League, this game had nothing to do with stats. It had nothing to do with winning or losing the game. All of that was extra. Right? All of that was extra. I wanted to see if Cooper Flagg understood the moment. Because there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype behind him. And there was a lot of hype in this matchup because of Bronny James. And the Lakers have already had a couple games that they've played in the Summer League. Cooper Flagg had to sit back and watch VJ Edgecombe get 28. Ace Bailey showing out with some of his moves. His teammate, I'm blanking on his name, who had 37. And then the hype behind Cooper Flagg. And to me, the only important number in this game for him is 21. 21. That's all I care about. He took 21 shots in this game. 21 shots. The second closest player from either team was 16, which was Dalton Knecht. The second most in the game. And this game had everything to do with answering the call and answering it with aggression. It felt like every time Bronny was on him, he was going at him. He was trying to go at Dalton Knecht. Cooper Flagg understood the dynamic of what's going on. And he knew he had to go at everyone. He knew he had to show aggression. And that's exactly what he did. Everyone questioned him last year when he had those 2 turnovers at the end of the game. And I said, cool, he turned the ball over. He went for it. And he responded by becoming the player of the year. So I say all the time, you can't teach aggression. We could go over your plays. We could go over highlights, the mistakes. Don't do this. Don't do that. Those things are fixable. You can't add aggression to somebody. And that's something that he naturally has. And that was my takeaway. So that was a big positive for me. He ended the first quarter with 9 shots. He took 9 shots in the first quarter. He was gunning. And listen, everything else, right? Everything else, I think you could work on. I mean, I saw like it wasn't even a score, it was an assist that he had. Let me try to find it. It was an assist that he had where I'm like, all right, I can see this. I can see him making this exact play on the Dallas Mavericks. Because of the personnel, because of the read, and it's this pass right here.
When you compare it,
It's a little stagger screen, right? So imagine this is Klay Thompson, right? Imagine this is Kyrie. Imagine this is Anthony Davis. Imagine this is Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively.
to what you saw out of him,
He sets a little pick, flares out. He could go left still, right? But he makes the easy read in the pass, and understanding.
when he was just trying to survive out there.
Right. Imagine that's a Klay Thompson.
Not the fortuitous roll.
When you compare it to what you saw,
Imagine this guy's playing in drop because it's Daniel Gafford. Now he can go left. So these are going to be the reads that he's going to make at the NBA level. And I think he's going to be good. He's Coop good, no bag though, but that's overrated. Like, having a bag, I think is overrated. Right? If I give you 35, I don't give a fuck how it came. 35 is 35. He gonna be solid based on his motor alone. His shot mechanics are awful as well, to be honest. You think his shot mechanics are that bad? I mean, I think he has solid balance, and maybe it just looks a little awkward, but I think he's gonna be just fine. I think he's gonna be just fine. Even the dunk that he tried in the second quarter, like, he was going at everybody. And that's something that you cannot teach. He understands this part of the game. Cooper Flagg understands the thinking part of the game, right? He understood exactly what was happening. They doubled him off of the off of the tip off. I mean, he, it's something that he understands, and that's really good. He has side rotation. Yeah, but I think you could fix that, or you could try to just minimize it and just, adjust a little bit, whatever he's comfortable with. I think Anthony Edwards has a little bit of a rotation while he's shooting. Like his like, he himself is kind of rotating, but he led the league in threes last year because, he worked on it. So, it's definitely something I think, Cooper Flagg could work on. I think VJ Edgecombe does the same thing that I noticed on his jump shot. I think it's something a lot of guys are starting to do because everyone's trying to do a fadeaway. Right? Everyone's trying to do a fadeaway nowadays. These kids, they grow up trying to shoot fadeaways and step backs, and I think it becomes a natural movement for a lot of them. So you could just try to adjust it a little bit. He isn't confident as well. You can tell he wants to be in the mid, and it might hurt him going forward with how coaches want him to play. Coop isn't comfortable getting into his shot. I don't know. We'll see, man. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be all right. Genuinely, I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll figure out the shot. I think he'll figure out how to get it off. We've seen much worse. Like, we saw Lonzo from where he was to where he is. We've seen much worse, I think, in terms of mechanics. I think Cooper Flagg will be just fine, but to me, in terms of answering the moment, in terms of understanding the situation and staying aggressive, A+ for me, and that's all I was looking for. The shots will come and go, but everything else, to me, it was an A+. That was a W performance, in my opinion. Even though otherwise, my I can see it. He is extremely clunky, but he's also really tall. He'll be fine. Just not impressed in him based on what I was told to expect. I think maybe we're just like, I guess maybe we've been spoiled at some guys at his size, like maybe like a Paul George, Kevin Durant, that are just like really smooth. But I think Kawhi could at times look a little bit robotic, but he's just fine. So I don't know. Coop is gonna be good based off his being aggressive and dominant, but he needs to develop his handle and his jumper ASAP. I think the jumper for me, like for example, Ace Bailey moves way smoother. Yeah, no, for sure. I think I think he moves smoother as well too. But again, smoother don't necessarily mean better in terms of how the game, in terms of how the game goes. But yeah, I do think, but I think it's just some guys at that height are just a little bit more clunky, and other guys are smooth. I think that's just how it goes. Coop needs to be able to spot up because of the personnel he'll be playing with. I'm not gonna lie to you, Black Canadian. The way I saw them try to use him a little bit, I think I'm gonna see him running pick and rolls with Anthony Davis and do inverted pick and rolls with Kai setting the picks. I think they're gonna put him more on the ball. Coaching controls how players are portrayed. But I think they're gonna put him in a spot to be a little bit more of a decision maker. We'll see. He definitely needs to be able to hit spot up shots. But we'll see what happens, man. When Kyrie's back, he's gonna need to hit shots. No, for sure. But we've also seen, right? If he doesn't settle, right, and he's pump faking guys, getting to the rim, getting to a midi, getting to the basket, making plays, like we've seen how guys can mitigate that, right? You can sit here and take the open shot 5 times. You could do that, or you could try to make a play. And to me, he strikes me as a guy that's gonna read the situation. He's gonna take some of the shots. He's gonna make plays. And I think that's why he's going to be good. He's not just going to settle and take that same shot over and over again. We're gonna see him try to make plays. And I think with that, he'll figure out what works and what doesn't work, and he'll adjust, right? But in time, I think he will need to obviously develop all of his game. But genuinely, I think he will be just fine. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's when it's time to win, and that's when he'll be critiqued the hardest. Right now, I'm not confident in Coop spotting up. He can't be like this when it's playoff time. Hey, Kyrie also just said he's not planning on coming back early. So yeah, like I don't know what type of, I don't know, and I get but if he's a rookie in the playoffs, I get there's gonna be expectations, but at the same time, like, let's be honest, like, we gonna judge him accordingly, right? Like, he would also be a rookie in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens by then. I'm not saying he won't be fine. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing in the future. No, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it'll just be based on his ability to hit shots, because he does other things on the floor, right? He's gonna have nights where he really struggles shooting the basketball, like some awful shooting. I could see it. I could see it. But I think the thing about him is he'll be able to respond, because I don't think he's going to get caught up into settling for shots. He's going to try to be aggressive. So, and because of that, I think they're going to allow him more freedom to be able to play on the ball and make plays. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting season. And then if Kyrie also doesn't come early, if he doesn't get back early, then we're going to have Cooper Flagg, who will be able to really play with Anthony Davis, right? And you know, Anthony Davis has never been an on-the-ball guy, so who's going to be running pick and rolls? You're going to have D'Angelo Russell running pick and rolls the whole time? I'm critiquing his game because it's the thing. He needs to be successful. It's not about settling. It's about flow of the offense sometimes. Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying, and I get that, like, this is a different league that we're in, and as the years go by, obviously he's gonna have to develop the shot, but to say he needs to develop it like this season, I just don't think. One, I don't think that's realistic, right? And I don't think his success is gonna depend just on that. Is what I'm saying. And I get the flow of the offense. They're gonna want him to hit shots. The analytics in the NBA is nowadays is just it's. Oh, I think he's gonna be stubborn. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's gonna take the shots that he feels comfortable with. To have everyone be successful on the floor, yes, D'Angelo will need to be able to run the pick and roll from time to time and get into his bag as well. He just needs to be well rounded. Um, but I mean, well, so what? Okay, I guess here, let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. When it comes to him, you think his defense is better than his offense at this point, at least on the NBA level? Do you think that at this point, like today, Cooper Flagg will be more impactful on defense than on offense, or if he's better? I get that those are probably two different questions, but what do you think? You can't be a perimeter player who can't shoot. It needs to develop ASAP for success. Yeah, but that's kind of like what I'm getting at. Like, that's kind of like what I'm getting at. Like, what is success? Like, what does success look like for him and for the team in terms of what they think would be success? I don't think he needs to be their shooter this year for them to be successful and for him to be successful. I get that that's something that he needs to develop, but if you drafted this guy thinking or expecting him to be a knockdown three-point shooter, then what are we talking about? That's what I'm saying. I get that. I understand that he needs to develop it. Hell, everyone does in the NBA to be successful. Like, everyone needs to develop a shot to be successful. But I think he does so many other things on the floor. I don't think his success just hangs on that. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Um, but um, I believe he's pretty well balanced. He just can't shoot. And as a basketball player, when I watch, I can tell he isn't even confident getting into his 3-point shot. Well, then what was that? Didn't he hit a three on the on those guys last year? And that was a whole year ago. And listen, it's just, I guess what I'm getting at is, he has to be able to shoot confidently, because from what I saw, you basically don't need to guard him at the 3. And that's what the real NBA will do to him. Now, I missed the whole live. Now, we still going, bro. We still going. I'm just saying, he has his strengths, right? He has his weaknesses. To be successful, we got to put you... We got to put you where you're like what you do well to be successful. If I keep putting you in spots where it's not your strengths, then you're gonna look like shit. And at this point, at this time, to your point, he's not a great 3-point shooter, and that's something that he needs to develop. However, I think right now what he can do is, when he's open, to try to take up space with his size, to get mid-range shots, to get to the rim, to get other guys open. That's what I think he'll do, right? And over time, he'll have to be able to hit that shot to be able to switch defenses up, because they'll adjust, right? The defense is going to adjust. If you leave him open and he's going to try to get to the rim every time, they're going to adjust. Right, so they're gonna force him to develop a shot, but I still think he'll be successful. College threes ain't real threes. Who? Cooper Flagg. We're talking about Coop. We're talking about Cooper Flagg. We're talking about Coop right now. But Black Canadian is essentially saying he needs to develop his 3-point shot, and I think also you said his ball handling ASAP. And I'm saying, at least for the immediate future, like this season, yes, he needs to develop those things, but I think he can have success for himself and the team, even with those things lacking. But we'll see. I guess we'll see as the season goes, right? We'll see as the season goes. As a perimeter player in today's NBA, there is no true work around not having a 3. Shea, for example, doesn't shoot them often, but he shoots them enough to demand a closeout. I didn't see the game, but I like this class. Facts. I'm not saying he won't be successful. Obviously, he will be good. I'm just saying he'll plateau early if he doesn't develop. They guys are getting after it on defense. He'll only be physically dominant for so long. To be honest, his defense all around might be better than his offense. Okay, but Black Canadian, what I'm getting at is he's a rookie. You just said he will only be physically dominant for so long. We've seen guys be physically dominant for years before they really, really got to develop a jump shot. And I'm not saying Cooper Flagg is Giannis or like LeBron, but I also think you're kind of like you're putting a lot as if like he got to do this in the next 3 months. And I completely understand that this is a new NBA, but we're still talking about basketball. And if he can eat up space, if you leave him open and he can make plays and shots in the paint, I think it lessens the need to have to develop that 3-point shot right now. And if he's smart, he will still develop it early because it'll only help. But while he's in his youth, like that's when you use all of your athleticism, right? That's when you jump out the gym every time. Like that's when you do it. Like he's at that age. And I think, his defense, it'll lead to open buckets. He don't need in the next game, but if he's hesitating to shoot at the start of the season, someone didn't do their job. I mean, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. I think you and I can agree. You and I can agree because you were talking about the flow of the offense. There are some shots in the game he's going to need to take where there's some threes. He needs to understand the moments where he needs to take the shot to try to open up the defense. I do get that, right? I get that part. And you know, whether he makes or misses them is a whole nother thing. But I do agree with that because you know, I know some casuals might not understand that out there, but you need to. There are some moments in the game you have to take that three. You don't really have a choice. You got to do it to open up shots for D'Angelo Russell, to open up shots for Anthony Davis. It's just how the game goes, right? I'm just talking about things that I know other players are looking at and gonna try to exploit him. Remember, he's hyped. A lot of players feel like he is overhyped. It is critical that he has no glaring holes in his game because he will have a tough time adjusting. And listen, like I said, there is gonna be a lot of eyes on him. But I also think we gotta we gotta give him time, right? We gotta give him time. But moving right along, because I think this is a perfect kind of segue, right? Because to your point, Black Canadian, Cooper Flagg has a lot of hype, right? And I've seen a lot of people try to define superstar versus all-star and all these other things, right? And I have my take on it, right? Because I think that Cooper Flagg, he has that superstar thing about him coming into the league. He's got the popularity and the eyes on him. It's not quite like maybe like a Zion Williamson when he was coming in or other guys, but he does have that quality, right? I'm excited to see my rookie tonight. Who is it? He has as much hype as Wemby, and he is not Wemby. LMAO. Canadian, you seen the Spurs rookie? What you think about him? To me, he looks good. I actually haven't even tuned in yet. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm pissed that we didn't draft Cameron Carter. I'm weak. Ooh, Dylan Harper. Wow, yeah, that's something to check it. That's something to check out. Colin Murray Boyles. All right, we'll check. I'll check those out. But let's define superstar. Let's make this easy for everybody, right? Let's make everybody's lives easier. And let's define what a superstar is, because I think some folks out there are confused. So I'll define it for y'all, right? A superstar has nothing to do with basketball. I know some people get annoyed at that, but that's just reality. A superstar is popularity. It's how much eyes you draw, good or bad. Right? And there are some people that don't like that definition, and some of them don't want you to call LaMelo Ball a superstar, even though he is. It's very obvious. And what I think happens is when you throw superstar around, oh, this person can be a superstar, that person can be a superstar, I think players get to hide behind the fact that when you label yourself a superstar, there is no ranking to that. We can't find how you rank compared to everyone else, because everyone isn't a superstar. A superstar is popularity. How good you are, we have other things to call that. We have an all-star, which is what, the top 24 players in the league. We have all-NBA, which is what, the top 15 in your position in the league. And then we have MVPs. Now, some guys want to talk about this person or that person as a superstar talent, but they're not an all NBA MVP level player. They're just an all-star. So you can't hide behind that title because, one, you're not as popular as these guys who we call superstars. There's only a few of them, if we're being honest. And then if you're someone that is extremely popular as a superstar and you also check off the all NBA MVP list, that's when you become the super mega star who can potentially be the face of the league. And listen, there's some people who build their superstardom, that popularity. There's some people who come in with it. And then there are some people like Steph Curry who build it up over time. But that's just the reality of what this fucking conversation is. And this is why this is coming up, because, and you're gonna hate this, Black Canadian. You're about to hate this. What y'all talking about? I understand why we took CMB. We have no backup for Barnes, but Cameron Carter is literally OG/Clay. The first 14 pick the Spurs got one with his chest out. Surprised he dropped so low. I was almost sure we would take him when we were up. Man, I gotta see CMB in a few hours because same. I really like that 14 pick. CMB cool though. Our guy now, he hopefully will surprise us like Scotty. CMB is nice. He has a real solid handle, great mid-range game, crazy high motor defensively. You about to hate this, Black Canadian. But she's a superstar, bro. Like, she's a superstar. There's people that come into this game that's just that, right? And I think Shea is someone that I would consider is working his way up, right? He's building up his superstardom. In terms of how he ranks compared to the field, we already know where that is. But I wanted to define this for everybody out there that's struggling, because a couple folks out there are struggling with this definition still, bro. It's 2025. Like, get it together, brother. Get it together. Oh, by the way, which cover are y'all getting? Which cover are y'all getting? Let me pull it up one more time. Which cover are y'all getting? Which cover? What's the cover? Which one are y'all getting? Y'all know which one I'm getting. Y'all know which cover I'm getting. 3 to the dome. Did you say Angel Reese? Angel Reese is for sure a superstar. Did you say Angel Reese? It is what it is. In a league where you are breaking records, you are a superstar. But like I said, it has nothing to do with game. That's the part that some people get confused. Like when you're a superstar, it has nothing to do with your game. You could be a superstar brand, but an all-star level player like LaMelo, right? Reese is a great rebounder. People just try to project her in scoring contests. I mean, I will say, what was she averaging? Like 19 and 17 when she won Player of the Week. She's been killing. And to her credit, because I was looking at it earlier, to Angel Reese's credit, every stat pretty much has gone up for her except for her rebounding. Assist up, steals up, block up. All of her shooting percentages are up. So, like, she's improving, right, for the amount of shit that she's getting. But Angel Reese is the most mid superstar ever at this point. We might see she is just equivalent to Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren is not getting 19 and 17. That's like the equivalent of like a like a fucking 25-25 game in the NBA, I feel like. Because when AJ was averaging 28, that shit felt like 40, bro, when you watch the game. But yeah, man, let me see. Is there anything else we got on the docket for today? But hey, man, I think some folks get mad because if they not on that All NBA list, you just an All-Star, brother. Definitely improving. She got shit because people tried to say she was better than Caitlyn and the other Spur girls, Super girls. She is, though. Both of them jokes average that. I will say this year, Angel Reese is definitely playing better than Caitlin Clark, but that's also because Caitlin Clark's been out. Have y'all seen some of the narratives about Caitlin Clark? I don't know if y'all have seen it anywhere. I think Angel Reese is an all-star level player, all NBA, all WNBA player. But her popularity, she is superstar stamped for sure. It's not even close. Yes, no, that's fact. Reese is starting the WNBA because she's impactful. They play different because they play different basketball where bigs like her are useful. No, that's facts. Yeah, this year. Yeah, this year. Watching Angel Reese play makes me mad like middle school coaches. She not doing nothing special. Box out. I also don't think Caitlyn is better than Paige, to be honest. And they both not better than Juju. I don't think they both better than Juju. Let's let it reconnect. Damn, it's still reconnecting? What the fuck happened? Okay, we're back. Okay, but as I was saying, people are cooking Caitlin Clark because of her. Everyone was cooking Caitlin Clark because of her, her field goal percentage, her 3-point percentage, her turnovers, right? But they're also throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at her. Like they're picking her up at damn near half court sometimes. Like they play her a certain way that they don't really play anyone else, and leave her open. I think she's a very good shooter. I think Caitlin Clark is probably a little bit more streakier. She probably leans towards the streaky side as opposed to just the pure knockdown shooter side. So yeah, it's definitely something we got to watch moving forward. I need Juju in Toronto. That would go crazy. But yeah, hopefully speedy recovery to her, right? Jason Tatum. She struggles because she's weak and she has no in-between game. That's what I said she really needs to develop. If she can develop that tween game, that little midi game, it'll really open up her threes. I think they could also probably do a little bit better of a job of getting her open, right? When they run her off of double screen actions and she gets these open shots, as opposed to having to go into her crossover into a step back, it just makes the game easier, right? I think they could also do a better job of making the game easier. They guard her like Steph, and it's successful because she's impactful, and doesn't move efficiently off the ball. No, that's facts. Like she's very close. Like to me, I would still compare her to Steph. But she definitely plays a little bit more like a Trae Young. Like she's going to be on the ball running the pick and rolls, as opposed to Steph is going to throw it, run around, and the offense is all tied into that. But similar to what I've always said about Trae Young, I think they could benefit from having some of these, screen actions off the ball to get them easier 3-point shots instead of having to create off the dribble every time. It's hard. It's like And I was thinking about this earlier, right? I was thinking about this earlier because obviously I critique, I'm critiquing the game, y'all critique the game, and this is a part of what we do, right? This is a part of what fans do. It's a part of what I'm trying to do, pushing this forward. But I was watching, I got stuck down the rabbit hole of highlights yesterday of everyone. It started with Chris Paul. I was watching Harden, Steph, Kevin there. I was watching everyone, literally everyone, right? And I ended up on the video of Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley talking about Kevin Durant when KD had 50 on them in the Clippers, when Durant was on the Warriors. And Lou Williams sitting there saying, "I promise you we tried." And we could talk strategies, we could talk things that people could do, but these players are fucking nice, man. And I think sometimes we forget, like, in the moment, like, yo, guard them like this, do this, like, You'll see guys in the comments like, your defense was not that good at 17, 18, whatever fucking prime you talking about, bro. We'll see these motherfucking 40-year-olds talking about, yo, I would have locked you up in my... No, you wouldn't have. Even the NBA players from back in the day, WNBA players from back in the day talking about, I locked them up. No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't know what to do with these guys. Right? Like, it just is what it is. Like, we just call it what it is, man. Like, but to bring it back to Caitlyn, I think they guard her that way for a reason, because she's nice. like they're not trying to let her get her game off. Right? There's a reason for that, which is, and her numbers are a result of it. She needs to push the ball before she crosses half and run to get it back to shoot more. I was gonna say, she don't play like Steph. She more Dame or Trey, more Dame in my opinion, though. Rather than the handoff screen, Dame killed because he could get inside and had an in-between game. No, that's facts. That's where Dame was killer. And then even Trey Young, I think his game suffered not just from the fouls. People think it's just the fouls, but they're trying to take away the floaters. Right? I've heard coaches in these interviews and players talk about, they don't think the floater is an efficient shot. Well, for some guys it is. Right? You can't take away a shot that someone does really well. So I think that's hurt Trey Young, because that was a part of his midi. Right? I've said this before. There were guys, the game evolved. We thought the mid-range was just the pull-up. For some guys, the mid-range started turning into the floater. Right? It opened up it opened it up for them. So, you take that away, that's a huge part of what Trey Young used to do as well too. Like, where we watch you play, some of the older guys just get excited sometimes. Yeah, but we're gonna critique still. That's fine. Like, we were talking about even in the finals, we're watching the games, we're talking about the defense, and it's like Andrew Nembhard is nice. I know we have our critiques, right? We're talking about mechanics. We're not defending these guys. Like we're not defending. Yeah, maybe you've played against somebody 6'6" before, but it still wasn't Andrew, it wasn't Tyrese, it wasn't Siakam, it wasn't none of these motherfuckers. Right? Like, you see, it's funny. I remember I got stuck on a comment section one time because everyone was talking about like Quentin Grimes, like players like that, where they're like, I knew I had to switch sports, or they're like, I knew I had to pick up accounting, because they run into the most unsuspecting guys and they don't even break a sweat dropping 40. Like, these guys really are different, and we sit here because we could watch all of their mistakes and critique them and forget, like, we don't know what it's really like to guard Kevin Durant. Like, people want to talk about rings and shit. Like, we don't know what it's like to guard 7-foot Kevin Durant. It just is what it is. If you're trying to take a Trey floater away, it's almost not functional. You shut down not only his scoring, but his passing too. Facts. Trey also had too many coaches. Speaking of Andrew, Rhyne Nembhard is nice. No, that's facts. I was talking about him earlier. He's a smaller Andrew Nembhard. He had a sequence in the game. It was hilarious. He hit a big midi, turned the basketball over, and then hit the three. I'm like, yo, he had such an Andrew Nembhard sequence. They are for sure brothers. You can't even deny it. They both had a blackout minute. They both blacked out. It was funny to see. But I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up, y'all. Let me find it. All right, this is gonna be Inception, right? Don't trip. This is gonna be Inception. Andrew Nembhard showed me something in this series and in this playoffs. He was fearless. To me, that goes a long way. Mistakes are fixable. You can't put aggression into someone though. So this was a year ago. This was last year in the playoffs, right? This was last year. And because of that performance, I said going into what was now this season, I genuinely believe that there should have been a little bit more of a competition. I would love to see what Andrew Nembhard leading that team looks like. Put aggression in, pause. Hey, yo, come on. We dragging that one. We reaching now. We reaching. It's a Friday. It's okay. You get a pass. But listen, man, maybe I'm never wrong, man. We just early because unfortunately, right, Tyrese Halliburton has the injury. And I think now we get to actually see Andrew Nembhard run this offense. I think he gets to have a breakout year. I think he's going into next year with a lot of confidence after doing what he's done in the last two playoffs. I think he's also gotten a lot more experience under his belt. And now he's gonna get put to the test. I think we are gonna be mind blown when he is having a good year right next to Pascal Siakam, and we're like, holy shit, they're still fine. I think we're gonna be mind blown. And maybe listen, I could be totally wrong. That's fine. But I genuinely think Andrew Nembhard is nice. Like, I think that's the point I'm trying to make right now. And I want to see what this team looks like, and by the middle of the year. We could go back and look at this. What is this, the 11th? We could go back and look at this. By mid-season, we could go back and look at this. But I think Andrew Nembhard, one, has a breakout year. But by the middle of the year, there's gonna be some folks like, who's better? Trust me. I think it's about to happen. I think the Pacers are gonna be good. LMAO, me too. Didiana Pacers. Yeah, I think, who is their center right now? I think that's the big question. But Siakam and Nembhard gonna get to play. Benedict Mathurin is gonna get to play, that two guard wing, the 2 or the 3. So I think they're probably gonna have Nembhard, Nesmith, Mathurin, Siakam. I don't know who their center is. TJ's coming off the bench. Obi Toppin coming. We're gonna see. Well, I will say this also for the Pacers. We're gonna really find out how good these guys are. Right? They get the opportunity to now really show without all-star Olympic gold medalist Tyrese Halliburton and the team, who is really important to those guys. And there's some guys that want to undermine how good he was. We get to really find out how good these guys are now. Right? Some of that shit Benedict Mathurin was doing, that Kobe Bryant shit, we better see it. We got to see it. We got to see it. Isaiah Jackson torn Achilles too. I was wondering where he went. Yeah, man, they've had a bunch. They've had a bunch, but Yeah, man, that's hey, we just had an Andrew Nembhard segment. Who but us? Who but us? Who but us, right? Who else will have a whole segment talking about Andrew Nembhard? And then we spoke about Rhyne Nembhard earlier as well too. Who else? Who but us? Who but us? But hey, man, that's gonna do it for me for now. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys as always for hanging out, man. Y'all are amazing. Please check out the videos if you've missed any parts of the show. We're putting clips up, we're putting shorts up. We're trying to put out more, but it's a process, man. We're gonna put out more content out there. But thank you guys for hanging out. Next week we're gonna try to do early show times. I'll make a post if that's not the case, but we'll try to do early show times starting next week. We'll give that a shot. I did miss the whole live. You joined like 30 minutes ago. You joined like a cool 30 minutes ago. I was yapping about Bronny and Cooper Flagg. That's why we was yapping. But but hey, I'll figure out more ways to do more lives so we can hang out and put out more content. But thank you guys, man. Thank you, Elijah. As always, you've been rocking with me ever since back that clip that we pulled up. Ever since then, you've been rocking with me. But thank you, Black Canadian. Thank you, Derpy. Y'all are the goats, man. I really appreciate it. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I really appreciate y'all for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all on Monday at we were saying 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'll make a post if that's not the case. I'll do a better job communicating that with you guys. But thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Turn up. Don't turn up too hard, but turn up. I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.